going on? Coach Luca back here. And what I want to talk about is, I'm going to use the squat as an example. It's going to be unloaded, but I want to talk about something that's very important as when it comes to training, and it's intent, right? So when you look at training programs, in this example, you're looking at, for instance, the squat, right? And many times you're looking at rep ranges. You're looking at maybe even time under tension, which will determine things like intent, right? But you have one exercise that you can do so many different things with and work on so many different goals with. So with this example, I'm going to use this kabuki bar. It's one of my favorite squat bars, by the way. And like I said, I'm not unraveling in the squat. But we can have the intent of, for instance, at the beginning when we're teaching people how to squat, we really want a smooth pattern. So we'll have something like a 2-2-2. For instance, we want to make sure that people are controlling every aspect of that squat, right? So they might get down into that position, hold that position, and then controlling up. Not even being super explosive. We want to make sure that they groove the pattern and get this nice quality pattern down. And we may not even use, like I said, the barbell. We'll probably use something like a goblet squat. But in this case, I'm using the barbell just to show you guys some variation. From there, like if we want to build muscle, we might go eccentric, right? So hey, control it down for 5 seconds. And then go up at a faster pace, like 1, okay? Same thing, intent is deceleration, more time under tension in that control. And we can obviously control more on the way down than we can push on the way up. It may be weak links. For most people, this isometric position right here is a weak link. So we might hold 2, 3, even as many as 5 seconds before coming back up, right? Intent. Now, what if we're training athletes, like at the time, we want to go and explode as much as possible. So from there, what we could do is control that down, and intent as fast as possible. Literally like you're trying to jump out. Control, explosive intent. We could also use the reactive method, which means I'm gonna go down fast and up fast. So I'm dropping down and then using that elastic energy to come out of it, right? So notice all these different variations, one exercise, understanding intent. Things like the box squat, so I set this up here, is we wanna have that 0 to 60 explosiveness, right? So we're controlling down into that box squat position. Abs are on, hip flexors are relaxed a little bit, and from here, right, we create that force as fast as possible. Control down. Okay? So when we're looking at things like this, like I said, I'm gonna get this off me real quick. We can have a different intent to develop a different property. Meaning, you wanna develop explosiveness, make sure that you're teaching intent. Now, we can use different tools. For instance, adding the bands to accelerate, because it's like you're gonna have to accelerate to get to that movement. But I think it's very, very important to also have intentionality behind the lifts, because we can change them up significantly. Whether we're grooving a pattern, making sure everything is nice and controlled. Whether we're building deceleration in our time and attention and doing an eccentric, weak links. We could also be doing multiple pauses in that position, okay? Coming back up, so on and so forth. So remember, the key point of this is we use the squat, but we could do the same thing with the deadlift, RDL, bench, any exercise where we can turn just the intention to change things up. And to give you an example, in one of our small group days where we want to have more velocity, we'll take a lighter load than a person could usually do for 6 to 8 reps, but we keep the speed really, really high. Right, so as they're lunging, they might be exploding up out of it. So just know that you can manipulate training with understanding intention and coaching intention and having people get a lot more out of it. Because once again, if I go faster in the lift, I'm gonna turn on more muscle fibers, right? So use that, like I said, as you're working on your own programs or your clients' programs, working on and teaching intentionality behind a certain lift, so that you get the result that you want, rather than just going like, hey, we're doing a squat, we're doing this many reps. Like, plug this in, because it will create variables and expand your program design and allow your clients to get better and to understand what slow is, controlled is, eccentric is, fast is. All right, you see the next tip? Coach Lucas, out, peace.